Hello everyone, I am Tara the Fox, and welcome back to more Let's Play the Red String of Fate. Last episode, things got quite interesting between Aaron and Val. Quite interesting. Got into a little awkward position with him. I guess it wasn't that awkward, since we sort of said help. But, could some things be transpiring between the two because of this? The answer is yes, because this is a romance novel, so what do you expect? If you haven't guessed. But anyway, we are here! The computer lab, apparently. Let us find out why. I look around the computer lab, surprised by how empty it is. I glance down at my watch. 7 p.m., same as always. It may be late, but there are always at least a dozen people lounging around and half pulling their hair out while staring blankly at their screens. Today, though, the only two people here are Aaron and me. It doesn't take long at all to spot him sitting on the same place he always sits. Smiling, I stride over and plop down in the seat adjacent to him. Valerie! Long time no see! Please, you saw me last night, and the day before that, and the day before that, and... Oh, come on, indulge me, will you? My grin only broadens. Want to start over? What? Of course not! That ruins it! I'm going to greet you like this again next time, though, if I remember, which I won't. I'll try not to ruin it tomorrow, then, if you remember, which you won't. Aaron groans, feigning annoyance. So, how was math? He knows full well how math went. I was texting him the whole time. Tolerable. How's Comp Sci? And I know full well how Comp Sci went for him. These questions and answers are meaningless, but they're familiar, and I don't particularly mind them. For the last couple of weeks, we've been meeting here at the lab the same time every day, asking each other familiar questions fit for obligatory small talk before either getting into more excited, involved conversations or quieting down to study or do homework. Even the silence between us as we work is something I've grown used to. I don't mind it. I like it, even. Over the days, Aaron has rooted himself to my life, and I assume the vice versa has occurred as well. I even have his schedule memorized. The buildings, the rooms, the class numbers and names, and he has memorized mine too. It wasn't deliberate, but it happened. Somehow. Tolerable? I furrow my brows, wondering why he's been stuttering at random. You're hiding something, aren't you? What are you hiding, Aaron? I brought us something. A terrible temporary toy kind of thing. And we're kind of alone, so even better. Oh? Show me. Why is it better that we're alone? It's a little embarrassing. Show me. Please close your eyes for a second, will you? What? Why? You'll see, please. Well, alright. I close my eyes, and immediately I hear Aaron fumbling around in his backpack. It takes more willpower than I ever knew that I had to resist peeking. Soon, I feel him playing with my pinky? I squirm, wondering what in the world he's doing. Why my pinky of all things? Is he drunk again? An eternity passes before Aaron finally speaks up. Okay, open. Oh, ho ho! My eyes fly wide open before he finishes, and I glance down at my hands, then his hands, then mine. What? I know this is silly. It's not, but what? For whatever reason, the concept of red strings seems important to you. I mean, I guess. I just like them as a concept, and... Aaron takes a deep breath as I continue spitting out whatever words that come to mind. So do I. He reaches out, taking my hand in his, and he immediately rushes to my cheeks. Red strings may not be real, and we obviously can't see them in any case, but I won't deny that it'd be cool. Maybe just a little if we could. If there were some guarantee from heaven or heavens or whatever, well, the confidence boost would be amazing, wouldn't it? Confidence in yourself and the relationship and all that. But there's no way of knowing for sure whether you and the person you love are soulmates or not. There's no way. But it doesn't matter, you see? It doesn't matter. Soulmates are cool and all, but just because you're not soulmate doesn't even mean the relationship isn't genuine or that it won't last. Like, we can't tie the red string around our fingers like I've done here, and you can make your own fate, you see? His voice lowers in volume as though he's mumbling to himself. He's making a pretty good case right here. Really bringing the hard stuff with the red string. God, this is even cheesier than I thought it would be. I can't believe I'm saying and doing this. But look, what we can see, we can create for ourselves. If we have no guarantees, that's fine. We could still make promises and make good on them, just the same. Not we specifically, of course. I'm saying theoretically. Yeah, theoretically. Me with a pretty girl and you with a pretty boy. Not pretty, handsome, strong, and rich. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Still staring at him with wide eyes, I could barely choke out a few words in response. No, what a surprise. Not a bad one, I hope. One thing is clear. From his stuttering to his repeated insertion of we. He likes me, doesn't he? Aaron. And he's obvious about it, too. My gaze starts back to the artificial red thread tied around my finger. Creating our own fate. It's a nice thought, but if only he knew. Red strings do exist, and his soulmate is dead, while mine is missing in action. Still, it's undeniable that his words have caused the seeds of doubt that have been growing in my mind lately to flourish, and I'm troubled by the thoughts of about my fate. Let's see. Huh, this is kind of interesting. I have it in my notes right here. So if I want the bad ending, I start saying he must be mistaken, but for some reason in my other note, because I want to get the good ending first and the bad one. So it's kind of weird to start the bad ending with this first. Whereas my good ending doesn't mention this one at all. Can fate really be created by us? Am I foolishly chasing after an unattainable dream? Yeah, let's go with maybe, since we want the good ending. The doubts once again flood my mind, the ones I've pushed away, suppressed, folded away tightly in a little box that's left to rot in a dark, dusty corner of my mind. I find myself staring at the space where my real red string of fate should be tied to my finger. Do I even have a fated partner? Why have I been given the power to see these red strings of fate, but not be able to see my own? Am I supposed to create my own fate? I don't understand. And most of all, I don't understand the fluttering in my stomach when Aaron basically confessed his feelings for me. The way he blushed whenever our fingers brushed, and the heat in my face when I realized that what he'd done. Perhaps sensing my inner turmoil, Aaron averts his gaze and he soon lowers his hand, but not before letting it linger. My own hand lingers above his, almost squeezing his hand back into mine before I realize what I'm doing and stop. Slack-jawed. I'm sorry if I unnerved you. Don't worry, though. This is all just theoretical. It's not like I like you or anything. The point of this awkward intervention was that I wanted to try being poetic or something. It didn't work, but hey, it was worth a shot. Choose your own fate and all that. Cool stuff to say, right? I gave an uncomfortable chuckle, unable to meet him in the eyes. Yeah. It was nice. Thanks. Yeah. Homework, right? Time. Right? Yes, unless... Yeah, sure. We tug off the string around our fingers, then turn our gazes to our computer screens. Despite our attempts to pretend to be preoccupied, I could feel Aaron glance at me from time to time when I'm not staring at him myself. Thank you, Kitty, for being very loud. I appreciate it. Although the atmosphere is awkward and heavy, I'm glad for his company. His presence, the clickety-clack of the keyboard, and the noises he makes as he fidgets are the only things preventing me from thinking too much about red strings and soulmates, and stressing myself out in the process. I stretch my arms as I enter the restaurant, groaning. I'm just glad someone else is setting up today. First person I see, however, is a girl with a very familiar head of strawberry blonde hair, dressed in a black over black accessorized by a tightly wrapped black apron. Irene? Valerie! I didn't know you work here! Yeah, same for you. I'm surprised to see you here. I'm new. Second day of work. First day alone. Need help? Nope, but thanks. I'm almost done. I'm sorry. I get over the fact that I gave Irene this stupid voice. Oh my god. I find it mildly amusing, viewer. Come with me, though, if you're not doing anything. I need to work the windows. I nod and walk with her, helping her with the windows despite her protests. Soon, we're completely finished, and we open up the restaurant. I'm surprised they're making you set up when you're so new. Well, it's no big deal. I'm just happy I have a new job. Where did you work before? Irene's clothes. She winks at me and shrugs. The clothes were cute enough, and I got interested because of the name and the potential discounts. Honestly, I probably got hired because of my name, too. She grins, and I chuckle in return. I've been there once or twice. Really expensive, but really cute. Agreed. I'd hope I get really steep discounts, for working there for minimum wage and all. You didn't, though? 10% discount on everything. I think about the average price of the clothes they sell and immediately cringe. Yep, 90% of $50 is still $45. Back to about 50 with taxes or whatever. Management was terrible too. I suspect they were sadistic. Well, it's a good thing you got out of there, although I can't guarantee your management is any better. Oh, don't worry. They seem nice enough from what I've seen from them. Either they really liked you, or I'm excited to see how your opinion of them changes. You should be glad I'm the cashier today. Just imagine if one of our managers just walked in instead of me. I whirl around, surprised by a sudden interruption, and have to stifle a groan. It's Lucia. She's super friendly with our managers, and she's almost as straight-laced as them. Oh, hey! Yep, I'm elated. She starts and shakes her head. You just look bored. Hopefully work will bring a smile to your face. Hopefully work will bring a smile to your fucking face. Really? I mean, if you love your job, then yes, hopefully it does. But if you are like just doing it for a paycheck, then no, it's not. Store opens in like a minute. Get to your stations already. She nods towards Irene, and from the recognition in her eyes, it's clear they've already met. You too. We rush to our stations, but soon end up meeting in the back room to gossip until the customers come in, close enough to the window door to check for new customers. After all, it's a morning shift. Hardly anyone comes here, and we might as well enjoy our time here as much as we can to make up for terrible tips. I don't normally take morning shifts, but it was either this or one fewer shift than usual. I had no choice, really. In between our chatter, customers slowly trickled in, and we take turns catering to them based on whose half of the restaurant they sit in. The memory from yesterday of Aaron wrapping the red yarn around my finger keeps nagging at me. I don't understand why, but whenever it does, I find myself grabbing the wall, a table, the back of the chair, anything in reach, just to steady myself, and exert myself on while I compel myself to maintain my service smile. Impulse overtakes me. I find myself analyzing and overanalyzing the customers even more than I normally do, scrutinizing the couple's relationship, and just juxtaposing. I have no idea what this word is, or even how to say it. Never heard of this word before. And juxtaposing them to whatever or not they are soulmates. I haven't been this obsessed about it since I was a child. I don't know what brings me to care so much now. I sober further as the day progresses. I even chat up the couples, softly asking them about the relationships. I feel pushy, fake, ridiculous. The couples don't seem to care. They enjoy the chance to talk about themselves. Well, the happier ones, at least. It's a small relief to me. Relief? Why am I relieved? That some of the happiest, oldest, perhaps longest-lasting couples do not have strings leading to each other. Ironically, some of the most frustrated human ones with the shakiest relationships do. But perhaps this is just my denial, my doubts, my uncertainty speaking. The couples with strings will make up, and the relationship will only grow stronger as a result of their arguments. Of course they will. Their fates are forever intertwined, written in the stars before they were born. Meanwhile, the other couples... My chest tightens, and I can't help but grind my teeth when I'm not speaking to the customers at a small... Whew, I can read. My chest tightens, and I can't help but grind my teeth when I'm not speaking to the customers, a false smile on my face. My eyes begin to sting, but why? I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I don't know. The red strings are a blessing. They must be. And my soulmate, even now I do smile, slightly but genuinely, at the thought of him. He must be waiting for me as I am waiting for him. Is he even real? No. 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 Don't be so negative. Don't say that. Don't think that. Of course, the little voice in the back of my mind refuses to stop. Why not? The truth won't change just because I change how I feel. No, stop. Don't think like that. Think about how happy he makes you feel, Val. Even before you've met him. Think about your happily ever after. Slowly, I can feel my turbulent emotions settle, and I smile. Yes, imagine your soulmate, Val. Think about what he looks like. Indulging in my favorite childhood activity, I continue to speak to myself in my mind, creating a mental image of what my soulmate's physical appearance might be. Maybe he's tall. Perhaps with blonde hair. I think brown hair would be nice too. Maybe part brown, part blonde. Why does that sound increasingly like a person I know? This time, no amount of self-comforting can erase the panic bubbling up inside me. Whoa, Val, are you alright? I whirl around at sudden voice and immediately come face to face with Aaron himself, the catalyst for my maelstrom of thoughts. Aaron! For a moment, I almost think I finally got insane, that I'm hallucinating his appearance in a restaurant. Wait, Aaron, what are you doing here? I just wanted to see you, talk to you. You did tell me when you'd be working, and I may have taken that as a subtle invitation. Or at least not like a complete hatred towards my showing up. But enough about me, you look terrible, what's wrong? I'm fine, but thanks for worrying about me. Have you already been seated? No, when I told the cashier that I was here to see you, she said you could see me yourself. Wait, Valerie's talking yet Val don't change the subject. What happened? Whoopsies! Val, don't change the subject. What happened? You happened, Aaron. The red string of fate happened. Everything is happening. But that's not something I could say. Still, the affection and concern written all over his face caused a strange urge within me to leap up his shoulder. Oh, the surge within me to lean on his shoulder and spill my heart out to him, to share this burden that I'm tired of bearing alone. What should I do? Alright, so here's where the choices pretty much matter. At least for the good ending. And I need to admit that something's been bothering me, but that I can't elaborate on it. I know the safer option is to pretend nothing is wrong, to lie to him with a straight face. But for some reason, the idea doesn't quite sit well with me. His clear trust and faith in me makes me reluctant to lie straight to his face. Besides, he knows me too well by now to not be able to tell when I'm fibbing. Fine. You're right. Something has been bothering me. It's difficult not to notice the delight glint in his eyes at my willingness to confide in him for once. What's the matter? Whatever it is, I'll do everything in my power to make it better. I chuckle weakly, knowing full well he won't be able to fix my problem, but appreciating the sentiment nonetheless. I can only blurt out the first thing in my mind, hoping it doesn't sound as confusing as it does to me. It's the only way I could think of that can somewhat let Aaron in about what's bothering me without giving away my secret and being carted off to a mental institute. Have you ever thought you wanted something your whole life, made almost every decision in pursuit of that goal, but then at some point, after countless years of failures, you begin to doubt if it was your right choice after all? Aaron frowns, clearly considering my words carefully. Yeah, I think I have. Not having expecting that answer, I take a step back, startled. You have? Yeah, it sounds similar to how I feel about pursuing game development. Aaron bites his lip, his normal bright eyes slightly troubled. I know that hardly any indie game developers become successful, much like let's make it their full-time career. I know many aspiring game creators and are probably starving, needing to give in to the harsh demands of reality and buckling down to a boring 9-to-5 job. I may not be as deep as some of them, but my entire life has revolved around someday realizing my dream of being a famous game creator. Sometimes I really wonder if I've gone insane, if I'm going to set myself up for failure and end up starving to death on the streets. He pauses, then looking up with a sheepish smile. Sorry, I went on longer than I expected. To me, Aaron, you sounded exactly like an artist. A starving artist. Anyway, I'm not sure if my situation is relevant to yours. It probably isn't. Sorry. My brows furrow, thinking over what Aaron said. It's an interesting analogy for sure. I never considered comparing the two situations. But now that I'm doing so, I can somewhat see the similarities. Or perhaps it doesn't quite make sense, and it's too different from what I'm going through. But regardless, I don't want to scrutinize it too closely. It feels nice to be understood, to talk with someone who has experienced the same desolate feelings I'm bothered by right now. No, you're right. I think it is similar to my situation. Oh? His visible brightens, but then his smile fades again. I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix your problem. I haven't been able to fix my own situation. I haven't been able to make my own situation better, let alone offer any wise advice or solutions. I never expected you to. It helps just being able to tell someone of my problems to someone who listens and can understand how I feel. Thank you. You made me feel a lot better. Surprisingly, it's the truth. Somehow this conversation, albeit not actually productive or helpful in any realistic way, has made my heart feel slightly lighter, keeping the previous troubling thoughts at bay. Really? I'm glad! If you ever need someone to talk to, you know I'm always happy to lend an ear. I know. Thank you, Aaron. I touch his arm briefly as a show of my gratitude, and he practically beams his pride. Well, I suppose I should get to work. Come on, Aaron, it's time to get you seated. I take him to a booth by the window and take his order. A Coke, a large serving of wontons, a large serving of mapo tofu, and a side egg soup. And 2 servings of spring rolls, please. Are you sure you can eat all that? Come on, you know my appetite. I'll probably still be hungry afterwards. Seeing my incredulous expression, Aaron begins to laugh. I remember you saying you like the wontons and spring rolls here. They're partially for you. I'm not hungry. But you're stressed, right? Food is always the best solution for trouble, even if only temporarily. Not exactly the wisest thing to do, but sure, Aaron, sure. That's a terrible mindset. Marsh Charms would be outraged if you were here with us. Marsh Charms? Oh, the health teacher! I almost forgot all about him! Well, he's not here right now, is he? Come on, you can't possibly say no to free food. I totally can. But will you? No, of course not. Sure, a Coke, a large serving of wontons, a large serving of mapo tofu with a side egg soup, and 2 servings of spring rolls, right? I haven't had breakfast anyway. Might as well. At that moment, Irene walks over to us from behind Aaron. I suddenly remember Aaron's previous, at least I hope previous, crush on Irene, and I bite my lips, silently willing her to stop and turn around. I dread seeing their exchange, although I don't understand why. How will Aaron respond? With his blush? With stutters? What about me? Why do I care? But any hopes I have are crushed. Irene walks all the way over to us, stopping only once she and Aaron have already noticed each other. Oh, Aaron! I didn't expect to see you here! Aaron widens his eyes, but soon smiles sheepishly, and I do a double take at how calm he seems when he speaks up. Yeah, well, it was a spur-of-the-moment thing. I didn't expect to see you here either. I only started working here a few days ago. Probably a spur-of-the-moment thing for me, too. Anyway, Valerie, can you watch my section for a bit? I have to take a call. Oh, of course. Just don't let Lucia see you. Of course not. Thanks. No problem. Irene rushes away, and I turn to Aaron with the expression that must be quite something. Sorry I didn't warn you Irene worked here. I didn't know myself until today. And I didn't realize you were coming either, so... What's there to be sorry about? Don't worry about it. I'm not into her anyway, if that's what you're worried about. Yeah? I quiet down, unsure what to say. The twist in my stomach finally relaxes, and I release my breath that I don't realize I've been holding. But just as I begin to feel better, another thought begins gnawing at my mind. If Aaron can fall in and out of love this easily, what does that say about his feelings for me? Why do I even care? Shouldn't I be relieved that he will get over me soon enough? Still, for some reason, for the rest of the day, there's this dark feeling of dread dwelling deep inside. Oh, and I believe we're now at his apartment, inside his bedroom. And is that manga I see in the background? Oh, that is awesome. Not as big as my collection, but still pretty awesome. So, what now? I crack my knuckles as we head into Aaron's room, tired of the games we played, one after another. Up to you. Anything you want to do in particular? Not really. What about you? Nope, not really. As long as it's something you'll enjoy. Now, what would I enjoy? You know better than I do. Well, I know I want to stay inside. It's way too hot today. Agreed. Also, going outside requires walking, and I love my life of being a couch potato. Thank you very much. Oh, it's decided then. Let's go to the gym. I want to run for an hour or two. Come with me, Aaron, or I'll drag you. Aaron snorts and shakes his head. If you wanted to make me weep or throw a temper tantrum, you've found yourself a way. I hope you're being honest, because I kind of want to see that. Foul! Kidding, kidding. Really though, what should we do? More video games? Look how red and sweaty your hands are. No thank you. Computer games? Spamming keyboard buttons isn't any better. Board games? Aaron? Okay, never mind. There are two of us anyway. I guess we could just talk. Yeah, about what though? Silence engulfs us, and I can't help but think at the awkwardness of it. Yeah, women are better at talking, not so much as men. The words always pour out of us when we aren't actually actively thinking about what to talk to each other about. But now, I'm just drained of potential conversation topics. The irony almost makes me laugh. We could play Truth or Dare! I giggled despite myself. You have to turn every casual conversation into a game? Hey, it was either that or utter silence. I'm too lazy to do any dares, though. Or too scared. Oh, don't you dare. That's not it at all. You're too passive to give me any actual risky dares anyway. Excuse you? There are plenty of risky and terrifying things I could force you to do. Like what? His voice trails off as his brows furrow, clearly trying but failing to come up with a devious dare, and I smirk in victory. Point proven. Like, what you'll hear once you actually let me give you a dare. Again, point proven. Aaron pouts, the strangely endearing gesture making me smile grow. What about you then? What would you dare me to do? I bet you couldn't come up with great ones either. Well, I'm not the one who suggested Truth or Dare. Okay, that's true, but it was still a good idea. In theory. Practice matters more than theory. I don't even know what to ask you if you prompted me for a truth question. I think I can. You know what? Change of plans. What if I ask you a bunch of questions that you have to answer? 20 questions, basically. But you don't need to ask me anything since, as you said, you can't think of anything anyway. I'm a gracious man, I know. I flick his forehead, snorting. Gracious. Right. You know what? Just for that, I think I'll get the first turn. Here's a question for you. Nuh-uh, I'm the one asking the questions, remember? And you're also the one who suggested the truth or dare, not whatever else this is becoming. Answer up, or I'm making you streak across the college campus. You wouldn't. I would. I don't actually expect him to do it, but hey. So, your question. Why have you been so eager to, like, I don't know, give me stuff to do lately? That's a terrible way of putting it, but you know what I mean. Lately, he's been non-stop requesting to hang out with me, or handing me games, or sending me strange links to activities. At first, I thought his crush on me was just driving him to want to hang out with me more or something. Weird, but sweet in its own way if you look at it a certain way from a certain angle. But then I realized he was pushing Luke, other boys, and other people, and things completely unrelated to us onto me, which didn't seem like the type of thing a love-struck boy would be doing to a girl he liked. Aaron blushes, averting his gaze. Okay, maybe I really should go streak across campus instead. I elbow him and roll my eyes. You would never. Go on, get on with the truth. There's nothing stopping me from lying. I think the fact that you said that means you probably won't. Now go on. It's just... well, you've seemed kind of down lately. I don't know exactly what is going on, though. I have a bit of an idea after what you talked to me about the other day when I visited you at work. I don't know enough to fix whatever it is, though, so I just wanted to cheer you up and help you focus, since we do have exams coming up soon after all. I probably did a terrible job, didn't I? I pause, then begin to laugh at his impassioned rambling. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. He beams, but then the smile fades quickly. I couldn't really help in the end, though. All I succeeded at was probably making myself look even more of a weirdo. No, you didn't. I pause, a teasing grin rising to my face. Well, maybe a little. Aaron shoots me a mock glare and I giggle. It's the thought that counts, though. Thank you. It makes me happy to know that you care about me. Of course I care about you. I couldn't just stand by and do nothing when I know that you're feeling somewhat down. Warmth spreads across my chest without my permission, and I find myself grinning at him, reaching out to touch his arm lightly. Aaron really is oh, can't read that for some reason. Aaron really is such a sweetheart. Thank you. His cheeks turn pink as he ducks his head in almost shy gesture. No, I should be thanking you for trusting me enough to confide in me. Of course I trust you. You're my best friend. And I really do trust him, and I would tell him everything about me if I could. Oh. His blush deepens and his eyes start away as a pleased smile spreads across his face. Can't he tell I just basically friend-zoned him? Why is he looking so damn happy over what I said? I trust you too, Val. You're my bestest friend in the whole world. I can't stifle a startled laugh. He is such an idiot. Can't even tell when he's being friend-zoned. Denied. I shake my head at him, both exasperated and amused. I'm not sure how else to make my rejection clear without just flat out telling him that I'm not interested in him that way, but I can't really do that when he has never even told me how he feels about me. Who knows, I might even be wrong about his romantic feelings for me. Maybe he feels nothing but platonic friendship. Instead of the relief I hope I had expected to accompany that thought, I only feel a flash of hurt and sadness, my chest tightening. I quickly shove those feelings away, shaking my head slightly to myself. No, I can't afford to develop feelings for him. I'm not the one for him. I'm not, no matter how much either of us wishes things were different. The day Aaron moves on for me and falls in love with someone more deserving of his affection will be a happy day for both of us. Val? Are you okay? You just suddenly started to look sad. Did I say something wrong? I lift my head, meeting Aaron's worried eyes, and a smile touches my lips after some effort. No, I'm fine. Are you sure? You suddenly zoned out on me, and then your expression changed into a super sad one. You looked almost like a dejected puppy or something. My lips quirk upwards into a more genuine smile. A dejected puppy? Are you describing yourself? Oh, Val, come on! I'm more like a superhero underdog puppy? It's clear he's trying to distract me from my sad thoughts, and surprisingly, it works. I find myself giggling at his silliness. How is an underdog puppy a superhero? You know, like in some of those really weird video games or movies where the original hero gets caught in trouble or whatever, and only the underdog can save everyone because the villains don't expect anything from him and fail to take precautions. I blink at him for a few moments, and my eyebrows raised. I have never played anything like that. Are you just making that up? No, I'm not. I'm sure there are some books like that too. If so, I haven't read them. That's tragic. We need to remedy that problem immediately. I know just the game to get you familiar with that storyline. A glint of excitement enters Aaron's eyes, and I giggle at his reaction. Fine, I suppose I won't mind. You've already converted me into a fan of your video games. Aaron grins broadly at those words, and I can almost visualize a wagging tail behind him. He's definitely the more puppy-like of the two of us. I knew I could do it. Don't worry, I've just helped you see the light. Or lured me over to the dark side. That's okay. They have cookies. I would never! We share a grin, the excitement and joy still rolling off of him in waves. Anyway, I guess we got really distracted. Sorry about that. I lift my shoulder in a small shrug to indicate that I don't mind. Our conversations are always funner when unplanned. It's my turn to ask a question, isn't it? Since you asked yours already. What's a good one? Oh! What's your biggest secret? Or the thing the most important to you? Either one is fine. His eyes are positively sparkling in anticipation, almost excitement. I hope it's good. I want to know more about you. I freeze, however, unable to figure out what to say. The only possible answers to both of those questions are practically one and the same, and they're incredibly obvious as a result of how much the thought of it consumes my life. My biggest secret? My ability to see the red strings. The most important to me, the pursuit of my soulmate, a happily ever after. It's been like that for so long, perhaps since birth. But I can't possibly tell him that, right? As I glance back at his excited, trusting face, I find that I can't quite meet his eyes. His complete trust in me, which I was pleased was mere seconds ago, now causes my chest to squeeze with doubt and guilt instead. I take a deep breath, then shakily laugh. Well, I'm sure he'll just think I'm kidding if I tell him the truth, but there's no harm. There's no way he could possibly believe me if I told the truth, so I think I will. I'm sure I'll disappoint him in doing so, but if he doesn't believe me, that's his issue, not mine. And I won't find myself consumed by this overbearing guilt any longer. And perhaps part of me is exhausted by the weight of the secret that I carry every day from everyone around me, this invisible wall that sets people apart from me. The only other person I can ever talk about this is with Luke, but he's made it pretty clear he doesn't want to acknowledge the existence of the strings, as though ignoring it would make either of us forget it. It doesn't matter if Aaron doesn't believe what I say. I just want that moment of relief when I can finally confide in someone about this life-changing secret I plan on taking to the grave. And who is a better candidate than Aaron? Who is the most unlikely person to send me to a mental hospital in a straitjacket? Christ, Aaron, do you really want the truth? Of course! Don't tell me you've forgotten what the game is called! Truth or dare? Of course I didn't. What do you take me for? I sigh, biting down my lips so hard that I can taste the metallic tang of blood. You're not going to believe me. Try me. I trust you, Val, really. I'll force myself to believe you, even if you tell me you really are an alien from Asia. Pfft, of course not. Nothing like that. Actually, what I'm about to say might be worse. Even more unbelievable. Aaron's chin lifts slightly as though rising to my challenge. Try me, Val. You know my interest in red strings? Of course I do. I avert my eyes, unable to keep holding eye contact. I start to fidget with my hands, struck by strange nervousness. Well, have you ever stopped to wonder why? A handful of times, but everyone has their little quirks, something they love above all else for whatever reason. For me, it's video games. For my baby sister, it's perfumes. For my father, it's overpriced teas. I never realized you had a special reason. Aaron pauses, tilting his head and regarding me with a curious gaze. Will you tell me why? That's why I brought it up. I laugh awkwardly again, unsure how to progress this conversation. It's possible that I can see the red strings of fate that tie soulmates together. Wait, what? I keep my gaze on my hands, too much of a coward to look up to him and take in his reaction. Yeah, so, say there are two soulmates, yeah? And say they're alive. There will be an intangible red string, one end around each person's pinky fingers, expanding and contracting as they move farther and closer. No, the mechanisms make sense. I've read up enough on red strings to understand that much. But I peek up at him to see him shaking his head, confusion knotting his brows. Val, what does this have to do with the question? It's fine if you didn't feel comfortable answering, but you didn't have to make up a random story about red strings and stuff. No. I'm not. What are you doing, Val? Stop it! Just pass it off as a joke, laugh or something. Yet somehow I can't bring myself to follow my own suggestions. Maybe it's the doubt in his eyes, the overt disappointment. I knew from the beginning that my story wouldn't be something Aaron would believe me. In fact, this was kind of the point. Nonetheless, the shift in his trust for me feels jarring, unpleasant. I hate it. I want him to trust me, though I don't understand why. I don't want to disappoint him, not like this. And could it be possible that I actually want him to believe my story about red strings of fate? That's an impossible wish, and a pointless one too. But for some unfathomable reason, I want him to believe me. I want him to understand me. You asked me what my biggest secret was. My biggest secret is that I can see the red strings of fate that bind people together. You asked me what was most important to me. It's... I almost have to choke out the next few inevitable words. True love. The pursuit of a true love. A lover whom I can treasure. One who will treasure me. I'm romantic, I admit it. But I can see the strings, Aaron. They're right before my eyes, taunting me. I should shut up. Shut up and change the topic. Yet now that I brought it up, it's like the floodgates have opened, and the words keep pouring and pouring and pouring out and refusing to stop. Say I believe you, which... I'm sorry, but I don't. Why would they be taunting you? I can see others' red strings of fate. I can see your... Irene's broken string, symbolizing her deceased soulmate. I can see the string that ties together random passerbys by the street. I can see strings that are tattered, broken, thinning, knotted, sheer from too much expansion. But what I can't see is my own string. Where there should be a red knot in a circle, there is nothing. Air. I find myself holding my breath, hoping, praying that he would believe me, that he would hear the truth of my words. I'm sorry, Val. You're clearly being honest with me, or I don't think you would be so distraught. Either that, or you're, an incredible actress. Which leaves only one conclusion. I must ask, well, I hate to say this, but, he stutters a surprising amount, even by his standards, and I realize with a sinking feeling what he's about to say. If you want to ask me if I've been to a therapist or the doctor or something, don't bother. I can see Aaron flinching slightly at the harsh, cutting tone in my voice, but the usual guilt I'd feel is overshadowed by both hurt and sorrow. Aaron ducks his head, his lips trembling, and I look away. I should have expected this. No, I did expect this, yet somehow hearing Aaron's reaction hurts. I'm sorry. I want to believe you, I do. It's just hard for me to suddenly take it all in. Ask Luke. What? Ask Luke about what I'm telling you. He'll corroborate with my claims. The words continue to fall from my lips without thinking, almost as if someone else is controlling my mouth, and I wink. Luke is going to kill me for giving away his secret, too. But if Luke is the only person who can confirm what I say and keep Aaron from calling a psychiatrist about his insane best friend, surely he would help me. We may not be that close, at least not as close as Aaron and I, but we've become friends over the last few months. thanks to the tentative understanding between us due to our shared secret. He must understand how I feel, this desperation to tell someone close to me about this massive secret we have to keep. Surely he will understand, and he will help me. Won't he? Oh, he might not at first, but he's not a very good liar, and I'm sure he can get enough out of him eventually if you tell him I told you about this and that you're concerned I have some untreated mental illness. He didn't have one either. A string, I mean. That's how we recognize each other. Valerie! I'm well aware of the defensive tone lining my voice, and I hate it. Hate that I have to defend myself to someone I believe was my best friend. I have to blink away the tears burning my eyes. I just wanted him to understand me. Why doesn't he understand? Without meaning to, my volume begins to rise until I'm practically shouting at him. If I'm insane, at least Luke is insane with me. At least he's been insane with me since he was born, long before we knew each other, but the exact same way as me. Do you really think Luke would be the type to gaslight you for fun? Ask him, and I'm sure he'll eventually say the truth. My teeth dig into my lower lip, the pain keeping further outbursts at bay. There's a long moment of silence before Aaron replies, almost bemusedly. No, I don't think he would. I don't think you would either. I trust Luke with my science presentations projects, okay? That's saying a lot. Neither of us can manage to smile at his weak joke. And you... I trust you way, way more than I trust him. He licks his lips, then takes a long, deep breath. I'll be asking Luke for a confirmation, just because this. It's a lot to take in, you know? I look away again, sucking in a quick breath to try to calm myself. I have to push away that slight pang of hurt that he still doesn't fully believe me. This is progress, right? He is trying to believe me. That's better than insisting I'm crazy. I had always expected this reaction from him. I'm not even sure why I lost my temper at him for no reason. Any normal person without this ability to see the strings would react the same way. Hell, I'm sure if the situation was reversed, I'd have made worse remarks about his sanity. Yeah, I get it. Silence drags on between us, more awkward and tense than it has ever been between us. I begin to regret what I've done, not just because I confessed my secret to someone who possibly still thinks I might be sane, but because I've pushed him away. This time, inadvertently, I'm the one who's created the invisible wall between Aaron and me. I'm sorry I just dumped all my baggage on you. This was supposed to be a fun game to let us grow closer, not drift apart due to what must look like to you my insanity. No, don't be. You're not dumping your baggage on me. You're letting me get to know you better, and this only started because I asked you to trust me with your biggest secret. I wanted, and still want, to learn more about you, good and bad. And I want to believe you and see things from your perspective, no matter how hard that is, no matter how far-fetched your truths seem. I close my eyes, tired from everything that just happened. I know. Thank you for wanting to understand me. I'm still sorry for all this. Valerie, I can't believe you. Yet. And I'm sorry for that. At the same time, I don't think you'd lie for me for fun. At least not like... You don't seem so stressed, so vulnerable. At least I hope not. Maybe I'm completely wrong in saying and thinking this, but I suppose it's not like believing you about soulmates and red strings will ever hurt me. I trust you. I'll try to trust your words too. That's about the best I can expect from him, I suppose. I sigh, giving a terse nod. I can only hope that one day he'll realize I'm not lying to him after all. And here we are meeting with Luke, who seems very, very upset with us. But we'll save that for another time. In the meantime, I am Tara the Fox, you are the viewer, and I hope to see you next time.